Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Solution Showcase presented by IoT for All, the number one publication and resource for the Internet of Things. I'm your host, Ryan Chacon. On this episode, we have Poul Eriksen, CTO of Develco Products. They are a very interesting company. They are a B2B company providing white label products within the fields of security, home care, insurtech, and energy management. And we are focusing our conversation around intelligent care. Their product is called Intelligent Lilli. It's a home care solution using Develco's Products IoT platform. So we talk about what intelligent care really is, the possibilities when you bring IoT in for the future of intelligent care, and then obviously give you a rundown of what the product does, how it works, and who it can benefit. So if you're in that space or you're potentially in that space, I think you'll get a lot of value out of this episode. So please enjoy this episode of the Showcase series. Welcome, Paul. Thanks for taking time to chat with me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, likewise. Nice to have you try invite us.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been looking forward to this conversation ever since we got scheduled. So I'm excited. Let me ask you to kick this off by introducing yourself, just giving a quick overview of kind of your background experience, things that will give more context to our audience as to who they're listening to.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Poul Eriksen. I've been working as I got an education as an electronic engineer and computer science and electronics. Been working with both hardware, software development, project management. Spent some years at Motorola as a program manager for first their Bluetooth development and also in the beginning of their Zigbee solutions. And since 2003, I've been at Develco and Develco Products, which we formed as a product company in 2009. Working both in sales, in product management, and very close with the R&D. So my touch here is both for everything from the consumer, the customer side to the deep technical issues. So
Fantastic. So can you just tell us a little bit more about Develco, kind of what you all do, the role you play in the space?
yeah.
I've come across the brand before. I'm sure a lot of our audience has come across the brand before, but just for those who may be a little less unfamiliar or a little less familiar, what exactly you all do and the focus you play.
Yeah, we in general we do an IoT platform, a white label IoT platform, which means that you never see our brand in the stores anywhere. We are behind the scenes, yes, you can say.
Hmm.
We provide mainly IoT gateways, which can be used for all kind of purposes. We tend to focus our proposition to markets like home care, like energy, and like security.
Okay.
But in general, the gateway can be used for any IoT, even for standard smart home solutions and other. I mentioned the gateway, which is absolutely our key offering, but we also do a lot of sensors, mainly based on the Zigbee standard, moving a little bit towards the Matter standard in some cases, supporting both. But we would like to provide a complete hardware solution and also software which are non-application specific.
Okay.
So it means our proposition is a complete platform which works out of the box. Our customers then, or partners as we like to call them, they build application on top of it. It could
Okay.
be a full alarm systems based on us, where they have the alarm center, um, they have the knowledge about the alarm. They have people
Right.
that can go. Sorry about the noise here.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
They have all the knowledge about this. So we just provide the gateway, the sensors, the
Gotcha.
sirens, and other things that are in use.
So more agnostic to kind of the use case and the application industry and so forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, Our white label concept means that we can put any customer's brand on the products. Typically, the gateway is always
Sure.
branded in the customer's name, but often they don't want to have standard sensors and so on branded their own name. So we actually have our own brand called Friend, misspelled with a T in the end instead of a D,
Okay.
which made the .com available as well.
I've talked to a number of companies who have made changes to names just so they can get the domain, so or
Yeah.
at an affordable cost, I guess, right?
Yes.
Um, Fantastic. So it sounds like you all kind of really cover all the different bases when it comes to the out of the box, the white label, everything, which sounds fantastic.
Yes. One thing we don't do, we don't do complex products, but since our gateway supports a lot of wireless standard, both Zigbee, as I mentioned, but
Mhm.
also Bluetooth,
Sure.
Bluetooth low energy, Wi-Fi, Z-Wave, and wireless impulse, we're able to incorporate a lot of other third-party products. So it
Okay.
means when it comes to special domains like door locks, they are so individual from country to country. We cannot have the domain knowledge about all, but we integrate door locks from, for instance, Easy Access from Yale and many other.
Right.
In the care, we
Okay.
do integrate products like blood pressure monitors and other things. So
Sure.
again, we try to provide the entire platform, hardware
Okay.
platform.
Great, great, great. So today's conversation, I wanted to center it around a topic we haven't covered all that much, but I think is really important, is around what it means when somebody talks about intelligent care. And I think that's something that you and I were speaking about prior to the recording, and it sounds like it's something that's very valuable for our audience to understand. So what I wanted to do is start off by having you just give a quick overview of when someone says intelligent care, when you all talk about it in that way, what does it exactly mean? And then we can dive in further from there.
Yeah, actually, there's several levels, but let's start from the start. If you don't have intelligent care, people living in their own home need of care. It could be older people, it could be disabled people, people
Mhm.
with starting dementia, and so on.
Sure.
You go there regularly to see how they are, but they can have a fallback 5 minutes after you left, and then you come the next day and you've been sitting there for almost 24 hours.
Okay.
With intelligent care, we try to see, make them, make them give them a chance to call for help. So you could say first step is give them a panic button where they can call for help if something happens. That's a very
Right.
simple one.
Okay.
It's not that intelligent, but it's widely used everywhere, and you can start a discussion to see if they're okay.
Okay.
But what we're trying to do is build a system where we have sensors placed around in the apartment or house, detecting your behavior. So one of the benefits of our gateway is capability of running the edge computing. So the intelligent care will actually, with a few sensors, monitor what you do. If you have a motion sensor in the bathroom, one in the bedroom, one in your living room, and maybe a sensor detecting if your front door is opening, you can see how often does a person go to the toilet, how often do he stay in bed, how active is he actually.
Mm.
By monitoring this, you can see a normal behavior. You can, using a simple AI, you can actually see how often does this person actually sleep, how often does the person go to the bathroom, and so on. If they
Right.
start to go more frequently to the bathroom, they can simply have a bladder infection, and you can start investigating that before it actually gets to hurt them. The next step is that you even put extra things in. You can put a bed vibration sensor that actually detects if you sleep quietly or you moving around during all the night. So you can detect how good is your actually sleep. And based on this, you could dose sleeping medicine. You can change other medicines to see if they work better in other environments. if people are very inactive, it's not well for them. So they can start. You can actually send physiotherapy to help them move more around. Or,
Okay.
so this is what intelligent care is trying to monitor how your life is, to see if it's okay, if something can be done for you.
Right.
Uh, but running it at the edge computing makes it anonymous. So it means that no one will be monitoring your life, and
Yeah.
that's very essential to most people.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's very true. There's always anytime it comes to any kind of care related industries, that kind of privacy and level of security is super important. So that's where, like you said, edge computing kind of comes in and helps do
Yep.
that. Um, so let me tie this into kind of the IoT space a little bit more and ask, how have IoT technologies really enabled intelligent care to be a more prominent thing, a more realistic thing for people around the world? Like, what has really happened in the last number of years? What technologies are really leading the way when it comes to intelligent care solutions that that I think would be important to note here?
Yeah. We can take an example. One of our customer, Intelligent Lilli, they actually rolling out a solution in the UK, where they monitor very simple with a few sensors. I can show you the kit they are providing. Simply a box
Okay.
which uh, which sorry,
Yeah.
um, which
Wow.
contains a gateway which connects to the internet. There's a few. There's two sensors. One you install on the refrigerator, and one you install on the main door, detecting if they open or close. There's
Mm-hmm.
three motion sensors, and then finally there's a smart plug. Because in the UK, if you don't drink tea every day at 3, something is wrong. So
So yeah, have to monitor that.
yeah,
Um,
that's
that's
very essential.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate you showing us that because I've seen, not in the intelligent care space, but I've seen other, in other industries, in like the smart home space, and a few other industries that I've looked at, where companies are able to build a solution that they can make kind of ready to go out of the box. And I think it's not necessarily attached to intelligent care by any means, but just the simplicity of it with the gateway, the sensors, and the different pieces that enable this to be adopted really quickly and seamlessly, I think goes a long way in helping increase the adoption of these types of solutions that are used by people all the time, or should be used by people all the time, but maybe before was, um, a bit a bit of a heavy lift to install and deploy. But it sounds like going the approach that you all have gone and that you just showed us with the Intelligent Lily, it's really making it easier than ever for people to be able to bring these intelligent care solutions into their home.
Yeah. I would say that there's three things that needs for people to engage in this. One is they
Okay.
need to have some benefits. For the Intelligent Lily, it gives them peace in mind, because older people, they are often very scared of falling, breaking a leg, and having
Sure.
to stay there for maybe several days and so on. They're also afraid of getting dementia and other things. And with the Intelligent Lilly solution, you can buy this solution if you get just in my age, installing at home,
Okay.
then it starts learning how you behave.
Sure.
And then if something actually starts to be different, it will announce. First of all, it will announce you, but it can also send to your doctor. I think there's something wrong here. It's individually how you want to use the solution.
Right.
But in general, it gives people comfort. They are afraid of staying alone. Nobody's visiting them, but now they know there will not be left alone if something happens.
Sure. Oh, I totally agree. Yeah, it's fantastic, kind of the advances we made in this space. Let me ask you, one of the last things I wanted to kind of cover before we wrap up here.
Yep.
What with with what we've kind of, or I guess as far as we've kind of seen the technology evolve in IoT to enable this more ease of adoption when it comes to solutions like intelligent care solutions, where do you kind of see this going? Like, what are the next steps, the next phases in intelligent care that you're most excited about, or you think we're kind of on the brink of to really take this kind of to the next level to make these solutions even better and even solve more problems and situations that we have out there?
Yeah, we participate in several research projects together with universities, and right now we're working on a project where with universities in UK, Spain, Italy, and Germany,
Okay.
and the actual scope of this is to install 200 homes with sensors, and actually we can follow the full. We can actually, out of this, you can actually detect very early
Mm,
many different uh, diseases, and you can start curing these diseases before they get serious.
right, right,
So this will save the community or the this society a lot of money in treating people that has already been with. You can maybe people can stay longer at work. Another thing we see is that we are currently working on a radar solution which can would looks on a 2D picture of your entire body. So it means it can actually look at your breathing, how much you breathe. You can look at your heart because the temperature from the heart, you can see the movement. So you can actually remotely monitor heart rate and breathe and so on. Also sweat on on your skin, and this way you can actually quite easily see come with a very early
right.
alarm if someone is going to have a stroke or something similar. And I think discovering a stroke before it actually happens, discovering other diseases before you actually get them,
Yep.
that's the huge benefit of intelligent care.
Yeah, I think that is definitely like the next step that I've heard a little bit about, but I appreciate you kind of shedding light on that because a lot of people don't realize how possible and how close we are to making that a thing. I mean, even just monitoring what we can now, the movements and the habits and behaviors of people, um, and and be able to kind of just get a sense if there are any type of maybe symptoms that we regularly would not recognize, but the data can tell us that this is a trend pointing in the direction like of this may be something to look into. And then that next phase, like you're saying, being able to recognize illnesses and diseases more quickly in a person so that it can be cured before it gets to a more serious stage. It's absolutely fascinating. And it's something that I think people should be very excited about.
And I think one of the things that is really a breakthrough is that things like intelligent care a few years ago was several thousand dollar
Yep.
to get started.
Right.
Now we're talking about a few hundred bucks to get up running.
That's been one of the biggest things I think across the industry we've seen. Just the cost of adopting these solutions is coming down, and it's just a benefit for everybody involved. Um, but Paul, thank you so much for taking the time. This has been a great conversation. For our audience out there who wants to learn more about the Intelligent Lilli, about what you all do at Develco, or just in general follow up with any questions, what's the best way that they can do that?
Yeah, it's best is to contact info@develcoproducts.com
Okay.
or go to our webpage, develcoproducts.com. You will
Okay.
see all the information there. You will see contact to the sales team, to our
Sure.
marketing team, and also to myself as well. So
Fantastic.
please have a look at it or sign up for one of our social medias. We are both
Yep.
on LinkedIn, Facebook,
Yeah,
everywhere.
sure. Perfect. Well, we'll make sure we get that out to our audience, those links in the necessary ways so people can connect with you after this. But great conversation. Thank you again for taking the time. And I look forward to getting this out to our audience.
Really nice talking to you, and thank you for inviting us.
All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that episode of the IoT Solution video series from us at IoT for All. If you did, we'd really appreciate it if you would like this video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. If you have a potential solution or something in the space that you would love to showcase to our audience, please email me directly at ryan@iotforall.com. I'd be happy to discuss what it is that you have going on and find ways to get that out to our audience. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time.